It's 4 p.m. We bring you developing news.
And the stories behind the headlines. This is StoryCon. I'm Patrick Paez.
I'm Ed Lingao, and some stories we're watching this Friday weekend, July 19. President Bongbong Marcos kept it short when asked about Duterte's statement, or VP Duterte's statement, that she is not rejoining the cabinet. The president simply said, and we quote, "Okay, that's her position." Or her refusal to join that position again.
Okay, parang ganun lang natin yung tone nun.
The VP earlier said the reason behind her resignation was personal to her and to Marcos. The Immigration Bureau has put the names Alice Go and Go Waping in their lookout bulletin. The suspended Bamban mayor still refuses to attend the Senate probe into POGO operations. She feels that senators are too fixated on her. In a recent Facebook post, the Tarlac mayor asked, and we quote, "Am I really the country's biggest problem?" To which the Senator Ontiveros answered, and we quote again, "Hindi kami fixated sa iyo. Allergic lang kami sa mga sinungaling." Ontiveros adds, Go has more Facebook posts than appearances at the Senate.
Siyempre naman, ano? And a social weather station survey showed 58% of Filipino families felt poor in the second quarter of 2024. This is up from the previous quarter's 46%. 12% rated themselves as borderline poor, while 30% could consider themselves not poor. Joining us today, Ana Marie Pamintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star, and StoryCon's resident political pundit, Ronald Llamas.
Hi, happy Friday.
And resident mga harana.
Magandang hapon, Ami.
Oo nga pala.
May concert, totoo ba yun? May concert ka mamaya?
Hindi totoo yan.
Oh, yun.
Oh, resident
But
senator.
it's a guesting for the new vlog or podcast of Shelo Magno, the former finance undersecretary. So you're not singing, pero she will be playing the saxophone. Parang ganun ba yun?
Di ba?
Daming...
Hindi, may
daming balita.
microphone siya. Kakanta siya.
Sabi nga ni
May
Alice Go.
microphone.
At daming problema ng bayan.
Oo.
Sabi nga ni Mayor Alice Go, daming problema ng bayan.
ikaw na ba pinakamalaking problema ng bayan? Ano gano'n?
Parang yung survey ng Pulse Asia, pinag-uusapan yung pinakamababa, hindi yung pinakamataas.
Ikaw na umiiwas ka sa topic eh. Kakatawa hindi.
Anyway, Ami, what's on the front page layout of the Philippine Star?
Dagdag ko lang dyan sa mga binanggit niyo, no? Yung mga kasamahan natin sa hanap buhay. Huwag kayo magpapadala ng drone dun sa SONA sa Lunes. Naghanda na ng mga barrel, special barrel ang PNP. They're going to shoot down drones.
Talaga.
So I guess talagang heightened security, no? Siguro may connection siguro yan doon
Designated survivor.
sa hindi daw threat at hindi bomb threat saka yung designated survivor.
Pero Ami, wala namang papadala ng
Ayan ang
drone sa
warning.
batasan sa Lunes kasi nasa loob yung event eh. Hindi sa loob.
Hindi. Para sa mga bumababa, di ba? Oh, ang laki-laki ng barrel pag nakita niyo. Ang laki yung anti-drone gun. Yan. Saka of course, we're waiting for what's happening in the US. Dahil merong mga nagtiyaga na nakinig ng acceptance speech ni Donald Trump kanina. And we're waiting for the decision of Joe Biden. Kasi pati daw si former President Obama, he's being encouraged to back out and to give way to someone. Hindi pa natin alam kung sino. Although, ang matunog sa ngayon, sila Kamala Harris, the Vice President. Yan ang inaabangan natin araw-araw.
Meron din kasing lumabas na survey, Ami, na last week, no? July 11 to 15, yung survey period, na 2/3 ng mga Democrats ay, ang posisyon nila ay patrasin na si Biden. 50% ng mga black Democrats, 65% ng Hispanic Democrats, at 75% ng mga Democrats na 45 years below. Ibig sabihin, yung mga kabataan ay sang-ayon na umatras na si Biden. Ayan, sabi kasi ni Biden ay karamihan daw ng mga ordinary voters ay supporter pa niya. Itong poll na ito, pinapakita na hindi. At nag-weigh in na, nabanggit mo nga, Obama, Pelosi, and
Pelosi.
even Schumer, yung
Chuck Schumer.
Senator Schumer, yung defender ni Biden, ay mukhang kinausap na rin si Biden na umatras. At merong graceful exit na si Biden dahil meron daw siyang COVID.
Nagkasakit.
So pwede nga na maging
Matagal pa yung election, November pa election na.
Hindi, pwede nga na maging dahilan para umatras siya dahil hindi maganda ang kanyang pakiramdam.
5 araw lang yun ng quarantine.
Binanggit na rin niya kung merong mangyayari sa aking sakit.
Okay.
So, bigay mo na 'yon. Bigay mo na as a graceful exit.
But who's the likely,
But I think his problem is more than COVID. Diba? Parang gano'n eh.
Graceful exit nga, pabayaan nyo na.
Pero who are the
He
likely
should actually
names?
appreciate na hindi naman actually anti-Biden yon ano. Although of course ang iniisip yung edad niya, pero it's more concern na baka nga matalo yung Democrats, di ba?
Sa
At
House.
manalo si Trump. Yun ang bigger concern actually eh.
Yeah.
So kailangan pag-usapan pa nila, sino ipapalit natin na winnable nga dahil ang lakas ng dating ngayon ni Trump. I think nakatulong ng husto sa kanya yung ang dami-dami ngayon mga joke about ears, no? Big ears. I think it's helping him actually. Nabanggit ng konti yung Pilipinas kanina, hindi ako nakinig pero ang nagkikwento, nabanggit yung Pilipinas, one of his areas of concern. Doon sa speech niya, nabanggit tong region natin. And tayo nga.
Nakita mo ba, Ami, yung sa social media, na kinancel daw ni Prince Charles yung kanyang visit sa US?
Yun na nga eh. Ang
Dahil malaki yung kanyang
ganyan nga yung mga... Ang dami. Hindi talaga nakakatawa talaga.
Mas malaking target. Ano?
Tawa rin sa...
Ang dami nagkakalat ngayon. But I think, alam mo naman dito sa Pilipinas, kapag ganyan eh, kadalasan it works for the person, yung ng joke eh.
Mga erap jokes.
Tsaka sa
Kaya
Pilipino,
nga,
pag malaki tenga mo, mahaba buhay mo.
Oops.
Pero galing talaga. May katuwiran siya, no? Talaga, it's fate. So you can mention God, no? Talaga konting-konti lang na ganun eh. Wala ka na eh.
Pero Ronald, no, even with
nag-crack
elections,
yung wala man lang fracture.
even with elections of just a few months away, no, Ronald, in November,
Yes.
given the recent elections that we've seen around the world, in France, in UK, kahit na itong sa US, nung itong Hillary Clinton and Trump, pati itong midterms na nakaraan, na akala na red wave, safe to say, things can still happen last minute. Right?
Hindi naman last minute, pero ibig sabihin, things can happen kahit 4 months na lang. No?
Or even
Yeah.
right up to the time of voting.
Yeah.
In the last midterms na nangyari sa United States, everybody expected a red wave that the Republican Party would sweep the Senate and the House. That didn't happen.
Yes.
In defiance of all surveys and everything like that. Even in the election, in that election between Trump and Hillary Clinton enjoyed a very comfortable lead, and then something just happened. I think yung leaks, doon sa email leaks, na doon talaga nayari si Hillary Clinton. So things can still happen.
Pero kahit kasi nung after ng election, nakuha ni Hillary yung popular vote. Pero talo siya
Popular
dun sa
vote.
Electoral College. No?
People don't understand that. By the way, people keep saying parang medyo weird yung sistema ng United States that they have electoral colleges that decide who actually wins. But I think it has to be pointed out, Ronald, na the reason the United States has that system of electoral college and the rest of the world doesn't have, kasi majority vote lang, is because it's in the nature of their federation.
Yeah, it's a federal system.
It's a federal system. Otherwise, ang mangyari dyan, ang palagi mananalo kung sino ang gusto ng California at ng New York City, yung mga heavily populated, highly populated countries. Pag ganyan na nangyari, Ronald, magkakawatak-watak lalo yung Amerika, right?
Yes.
So that's the rationale for the electoral college system na it's giving a fair shake to other states, other members of the United States that have a lower population, but they should have some sort of say in the union.
Tama. May binabagayan yan eh.
May binabagayan yan.
Parang hindi bagay sa atin yan. Pero sa kanila bagay.
Sa kanila bagay. Kasi iba naman yung constitution ng USA, di ba, Ronald? Then,
Yes.
the US is sovereign states coming together to form a nation.
May sariling Supreme Court nga, yung mga states nila.
Kanya-kanya Supreme Court yan, right? Oo. Yung
Tayo
marijuana,
gusto
kanya-kanya
naman
decision of states.
mag-federalismo. One country gusto mag-federalism. Although mukhang hindi na umaandar yun. Ano? May statement si former President Duterte ngayon. He is supporting his friend Trump. Oh, yan.
Parang,
Yan ang isa sa mga istorya ngayon.
parang hindi naman ni-reciprocate ni Trump.
Busy naman ikaw naman talaga.
Baka hindi pa naririnig.
Pero Ronald,
Hindi
ito,
pa naririnig.
I asked you a while ago, because there should be something, there is probably something there in that statement of former President Duterte, expressing support for President Trump. In the past, you use
Siguro
the statement, the term survival.
Siguro nagmamakaawa siya na tulungan siya kung sakaling manalo si Trump. Pero ang mahalaga kasi sa mga Amerikano, sino ba yung presidente? Hindi na siya presidente. At mukhang wala naman siyang chance na makabalik. No? Kaya mas ang debate ngayon ay yung foreign policy. Dahil lumalabas ngayon na may mga statements si Trump na very controversial. Halimbawa, yung statement niya 2 days ago na hindi niya dedepensahan ang Taiwan pag ito ay nilusob ng China unless yung Taiwan ay gumastos para sa kanilang defense. No?
Actually, pero qualifier yan kasi yung iba, ang una, ang sabi na hindi depensa ng Taiwan, period.
Yes,
I think ang gusto ni Trump, gumastos kayo.
Labas kayo ng pera.
Parang Europe.
Yeah,
Parang
yung
NATO.
sabi niya sa NATO,
Parang NATO.
gumastos kayo, wag yung kami gagastos.
Willing siya, basta may bayad.
Pero
Well, I think the problem in NATO, for example, is America is like shouldering the defense of Europe, of NATO,
Yes.
right? So medyo ang tingin ata nila unfair sa mga American taxpayers na cargo nila yan. Lalo na ngayon na naghihirap Amerika.
yes. Pero at the same time, may very
Pero
controversial
I
speech.
talked to the Taiwanese officials. In fact, yun nga ang policy ngayon ng Taiwan. They don't want to depend on the US for their defense. Talaga nag-i-invest sila ng katakot-takot sa sarili nilang defense. And in fact, yun ang thinking ng mga Taiwanese. We cannot rely on any country for our own defense. Kailangan daw sila mismo ang gagastos, mag-i-invest in technology, lahat-lahat na. Sila yon. Alam nila na they cannot rely on any other country.
And we're
Yun ang
seeing
takbo na
the
isip
same
nila.
we're seeing the same shift. Ronald, I think in Europe itself among NATO allies, you have the United Kingdom thinking na wait, we have to start increasing our spending on defense. Also Germany, ganyan din ang iniisip ko. Also France, kasi nakita nila nangyari sa Ukraine. So,
Sa Ukraine,
yun.
yes.
Ronald, what do you think?
Well,
Kaya nga.
okay naman yun na mag-assert sila. No? Pero alam naman din nila yung limits nila. It's about mutually assured destruction. Ibig sabihin, yung Russia has more nuclear weapons than the US. Europe barely has nuclear weapons. So, alam nila na bottom line ay kailangan pa rin talaga nila yung US as a backer. No? Ganon din yung Taiwan. They can only produce enough military armaments up to a certain degree. No? Dahil ang kalaban nila is the second biggest standing army in the world. So, okay yun. May ganun silang posturing. Pero sa dulo, ay kailangan pa rin nila yung Amerika. Bottom line. Dahil nga, ang kalaban nila ay mga nuclear armed powers. No?
Saka yung Taiwanese military is not very well trained. I've seen some reviews of the
At saka-
Taiwanese military. Hindi
saka
parang
yung-
they're not at all at the doorstep of
At saka divided ang Taiwan. Wala naman silang wherewithal para lumaban. Pag tinanong mo yung mga kabataan sa Taiwan, lalaban ba kayo during the invasion? Ide-deadma ka na lang nila.
Do they have a draft, Bok? Does Taiwan
Hindi,
have a draft?
lahat naman ng bansa pwede magkaroon ng draft.
No, but do they have an active draft right now? I mean, we know Singapore
think
has.
so. I think
Does
so.
Taiwan have a draft?
I think
mean,
so.
is it mandatory for...
yung parang Korea and
yes.
Singapore na
Yes.
meron
I'm not
mga
sure,
1 or 2
pero
years.
I can surmise na meron. No, dahil nga, may threat sa kanila. May threat sa kanila. Kaya I'm sure meron yan. No? Pero yung inuulit ko kanina, may isa pang point si Trump na very controversial. Siya lamang yung US President na gustong taasan yung taxes sa Chinese products going to the US from 50 to 60%. Ibig sabihin, kanya na, game changer yan. Ibig sabihin talagang magpuputol ng trade links ang China, ang US with China. Yun ang ibig sabihin ng
Yes.
60% tariff. Na kahit si Biden,
Pinapurso na niya yan noon eh.
Oh,
He pursued
kahit-
that during
yeah.
his first presidency eh.
na kahit si
Gusto nga
Biden
niya-
or Obama, hindi
gusto nga
ginawa.
niya i-pull out yung mga American investors from China eh. Sabi niya, bumalik kayo dito and generate the jobs for Americans.
Oo.
Kaya ganon. So, hindi medyo, ano yan eh, medyo, although sa
Ronald, he's a
security-wise,
businessman.
siguro,
So
hindi siya kasi ano ni Biden.
he's a businessman.
He's a bottom
so
liner.
that's how he
Yeah.
thinks.
Yes.
Right? That's how he thinks.
Pero ang kanyang ideology din kasi MAGA, Make America Great Again. At
Right.
ang fundamental niyan is create their own manufacturing and
Right,
industry.
right, to bring it back.
Na ang tingin nila ay ang main rival nila is China.
Right.
So yes, he is a businessman, but ideologically ang kanyang ideological permutations ay kailangan talaga hindi maging dependent sa China.
Well, that is part of Make America Great Again.
Yes,
diba?
yes,
Bringing
yes.
back the
Yes.
jobs, the manufacturing.
At ang tingin ni Vance ay kaya nag-develop ang China ay dahil na sakripisyo
Yes.
ang American worker,
all this
ang
blue-collar-
American industry.
all these blue collar jobs.
Yes,
That's why
yes.
we've seen a shift in the voting preferences of the United States. Ano na karamihan ng mga blue collar ngayon, MAGA is very blue
Si
collar,
Trump.
nasa Republican Party.
Yes.
Na kay Trump.
Yeah.
Okay,
Ang
na kay
magiging
Trump.
weakness lang nung MAGA ay hindi sila pwede maging anti-migrant kung gusto nilang i-develop ang kanilang industry. Dahil yung industry ng US nakasalalay sa migrant labor. Yun naman yung contradiction ng kanilang anti-migrant rhetoric.
Well, sorry, I had to break in. Let's bring in our guest for this afternoon, si Professor Julio Tianqui. We're not going to be talking about Prof. We're not going to be talking about Taiwan or actually, we're bringing him in to talk about among other things, yung SONA sa Lunes. Professor Tianqui, welcome back to Storycon. Thank you for joining us.
Gandang hapon, Prof.
Hi, Professor.
Wala tuloy.
Ayan na, ayan na. Oh, ayan na.
Hi, Prof. Can you hear us? We're bringing him in to talk about among other things, yung SONA sa Lunes. Professor Tianqui, thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon.
Hello there.
Good afternoon. Magandang hapon.
Good afternoon, Prof.
Hi,
Thank you for
Professor.
joining us. Let's start off with SONA muna. Are we expecting, aside from political attendance or the lack of it on Monday by certain personalities, are we expecting any surprises on Monday?
Thank you. Good afternoon.
Okay.
Hindi ko
Anyway, Prof,
narinig, Ed. Pakiulit.
Delay.
Pakiulit, Ed.
Walang
Ah.
audio.
Mukhang sobrang
kakukyuin lang
mukhang
niya.
sobrang day.
Professor
Okay.
Tihanki.
Professor, tinatanong ni Ed Lingaw if are you expecting any surprises on Monday sa State of the Nation address?
Okay, sorry. I got some technical difficulties here. Okay, so again, good
Yes.
afternoon sa inyong lahat. Thank you for having me. So yes, for this Monday's SONA, mahalaga talaga itong ikatlong SONA ni BBM, no? Kumbaga dahil sa basketball, patapos na yung first half natin, no? So at mukhang kailangan natin alamin yung mga bagong plays ng administrasyon BBM. No? Kasi if you will recall, yung first SONA ni BBM parang technocratic report lang, no? Kulang sa kwento, no? Parang walang soul, no? And then last year, nung second SONA niya, nag-ano siya, no? Binigay niya yung kanyang vision na so-called bagong Pilipinas, no? And of course, while he introduced the concept of bagong Pilipinas, medyo malamya pa yung naratibo dahil kulang pa, no? Kaya medyo malabo yung kwento na naihain sa atin kasi nga lalo nang lumabo ngayon because of the political brouhaha na nangyayari, no? So dahil nga naghiwalay, no, ang kanilang unity, no? So ang kanilang pinaka narrative, no, was unity, no? Pero ngayong nag-break up na yung unity, saan tayo dadalhin nitong unity to, no? And I think si kasamang Ronald ay naipaliwanag na niyan. Ang unity is not an ideology, no? It is an ideal, no? And now that we are facing several problems, no, and this was reflected, no, sa latest rounds of surveys, no, particularly the Pulse Asia, na talagang it's still bread and butter issue, particularly the very kumbaga, difficult solution of addressing runaway inflation. Mataas pa rin.
Nung nakaraang SONA, Prof, ay medyo may mga sharp at saka emotional attacks si President Bongbong sa mga cartels, sa mga hoarders, sa mga smugglers, no? Meron bang significant na nangyari dyan sa kanyang SONA na yan, yung second SONA niya, going into the third SONA dahil susukatin siya dyan eh.
Right. So, of course, bihira na natin makita ngayon sa balita yung yung lack of supply sa bigas, sa asukal, no, sa basic commodities, no. So, perhaps na-address na nila yan, no, yung problema ng cartel, pero hindi pa lubusan dahil mataas pa rin ang presyo, no. So, yan pa rin ang punot dulo ng problema niya, no. And in fact, itong patuloy na kumbaga patuloy na dinabanggit ng publiko na issue, no, basic, no, runaway inflation, no, at lack of kumbaga ng trabaho, low pay, no, the need for poverty reduction. Ito'y problema ito hindi lamang ng kasalukuyang administrasyon, no, kasi sa aking palagay, no, every administration ang unang inaasikaso ay ekonomiya, which is really a major concern of every administration assuming the presidency. No? Kaso ang problema, nauubusan sila palagi ng problema na i-address yung pinaka-long-term solution ng mga problemang sa tingin nila ekonomiya. And this is essentially social reforms. No? Ang huling presidente na nagtulak ng tunay na social reform agenda ay si FDR pa, si President Ramos, no? And while there are certain social policy na inintroduce ang mga sumunod na presidente, no, katulad nila GMA, nila Noynoy hanggang kay Duterte, walang comprehensive social reform agenda. Bakit kamo? Kasi ang punot dulo pa rin nitong lahat ng issue na ito ay inequality, no? The growing gap between those who have and those who have not. Diba?
Okay, Prof, we're halfway in this administration, as you rightly pointed out, no? Siguro by now, more or less alam na natin kung what this administration is all about.
Right.
Based on what we're seeing, how would you describe this administration? What do you think are its priorities or its what's the characteristic of this administration? I know it's easier to describe the previous one, pero ito, Prof, ano?
Okay. Kasi let us go back to 2022, no? The victory of Bongbong Marcos and the return of the Marcoses to power was brought about by two factors, no? Yung nostalgia, no, na kanilang pinakalat, no, through very sophisticated campaigns sa social media, no, nostalgia for the golden age of his father's regime, at yung continuity, no, kasi karamihan ng bumoto rin kay BBM noong 2022 ay inaakala na siya ay isang continuity candidate ni President Duterte, no. Kaso nitong mga nakaraang 2 taon parang nag-iba ang kwento ni BBM. Hindi siya yung inaasahan na magiging continuity candidate. In fact, may mga domestic and foreign policy position siya na very divergent dun sa kay President Duterte. No? So yan ang naging posisyon ngayon ni at yan din ang naging dahilan dahil sa pagkakawatak ng kanilang unity, no? So ngayon parang lumalabo, no, doon sa mga dating sumuporta sa kanya na mga supporters din ni Duterte. At ngayon parang mas lumalapit pa yung mga policy positions niya doon sa mga anti-Marcos oppositionists, no? So ngayon nandito tayo sa punto na maidi-describe natin na fuzzy narrative, no? Parang fuzzy narrative, no? Kasi inaakala ng karamihan magiging katulad siya ni Tatay Digong at ng tatay niya, pero yung mga posisyon na kanyang tinahak nitong mga nakaraang 2 taon ay kakaiba, no? Doon sa posisyon ng tatay niya at kumbaga palagi ko sinasabi pag may kumakausap sa akin, no? President BBM is emulating the early Marcos, no? An early version of his father. Democratically elected, cold warrior at pro-US. At hindi ito yung inaasahan ng mga Duterte supporters para sa kanya. Ngayon, pagkakataon niya sa SONA, pagkakataon din sa midterm elections at pagkakataon sa remaining half ng kanyang term to clarify that fuzzy narrative. Will he be his own man? No? Will he be his own, kumbaga, will he give us his own presidential narrative? No? At kumbaga, nandiyan yun yung bagong Pilipinas has the potential of becoming a development vision. No? At kung magtatagumpay siya na ilatag, no, simula po sa Lunes, no, sa kanyang State of the Nation, kung ano yung concrete na kanyang mga policies na tatahakin sa remainder of his terms, no, para i-address itong mga bread and butter issue of kumbaga accountability, issue of human rights, no, at pinaka-importante sa lahat, paano niya proprotektahan ng ating soberenya sa West Philippines Sea.
Nabanggit mo, Prof, na itong...
Paano yan? Paano yan kung ang messaging ng unity has always been unity, and a united country is always essential kung ikaw ang leader ng bansa
Precisely.
Pero paano? We're talking about continuity. Hindi na continuity ngayon it's disunity. Yung mga Duterte are asking for his resignation.
Precisely.
Paano magiging messaging yan? Paano niyang ma-finish on in the SONA? It's a report to the nation. He is calling on people to work. I'm sure hindi mawawala yung message na yan You have to call on Filipinos to work together to advance my legislative agenda, my governance agenda. Paano, how can he work around this problem na yung vice presidente niya hindi attend ng SONA niya, manonood lang daw ng TV, if ever.
Yun nga, no? Kaya nga, ito yung isang pagkakataon para ipakita niya, no, na pwede siyang mag-reach out dun sa mga ibang sektor, sa mga ibang grupo na hindi kasama dun sa kanyang koalisyon, no? Kumbaga, this is a perfect opportunity for him to actually pursue yung totoong unity, no? And one of the dito ay yung pag-reach out, no? Sa other mainstream opposition leaders perhaps, no? Not necessarily to form a formal coalition, but to, at least come out with a kumbaga, a consensus on how to address these pressing problems of the day, no? Actually, yung mga crisis, no, is also a perfect opportunity to rally behind the flag, no? And this is a perfect opportunity for him to prove that he can still unite the country despite what happened to his original coalition. Kasi kaya naman tumiwalag din yung mga Dutertes dahil akala nga nila ay continuity nung kanilang style of leadership.
Professor, you did mention just a while back that it's ironic na there seems to be more common ground. I think you mentioned this with what was anti-Marcos opposition. Diba?
Yes,
parang mas pareho na sila ngayon.
Diba? And I think
sabi nga ni Bobby Tiglao ay Aquino 2.0.
Ganon. To put it more bluntly. So, there's I don't know, realignment is a very cliche word. Medyo cliche siya, pero that's what we're seeing, Prof. Isn't it?
Yun nga, no? So, we are, kumbaga,
Ibang unity, sabi nga nila.
Pero Prof, ang pinag-aawayan kasi na continuity ay hindi ideological or political continuity. Ang pinag-aawayan na continuity ay parang yung promisa ni BBM na ang successor niya ay si Sara Duterte. At mukhang hindi nangyari this past 2 years. Yun yung issue ng continuity na pinagtatalunan. Di ba?
Tama. Correct ka dyan, Ronald, no? But that's from the elite level, yung elite negotiation ng mga elite players, yung mga politiko, no? Pero from the
Policy.
perspective of their followers, lalong-lalo na yung mga diehard Duterte supporters, no? Kaya nila binoto si BBM, akala nila itutuloy ni BBM yung mga policies ni Tatay Digong. Kaso hindi nga. Nag-align pa yung mga policies ni ni BBM sa mga dilaw, sa mga pinklawan, no? So, yun nga, kaya yun yung tinatawag kong fuzzy, no? Fuzzy narrative, no? Na kailangan iklaro na ito ba talaga ang commitment ng administrasyon niya. Kumbaga, maintain at least the opening of our democratic space, reorientation of the war on drugs, no? And taking a tough stance on protecting our sovereignty from
Pero Prof, you're talking about the possibility of unity with the classical, so-called classical opposition. But is there any value in talking about reconciling or again unifying with the 21% according to Okta na Duterte faction, Duterte voters?
Okay. Ang sa akin nga mas mahalaga pa para kay BBM na mag-reconcile sa mga yellows rather than mag-reconcile with the Duterte.
Because Prof, just to follow that up, Prof, I think it has to be pointed out na walang nangyaring continuity. In fact, para on key issues and key policy issues like West Philippine Sea,
Right.
Insurgency,
Drugs.
counterinsurgency, di ba?
Tokhang,
The drug war.
Drugs.
And
The
even,
release of Laila de Lima.
yeah, okay, siguro minor pa nga yan, pero when we talk about policy, for example,
Parmali.
well, those are incidents, no? But I think it has to be pointed out, for example, another key policy is that the previous administration was very anti-business or anti-big business. We're seeing this
Right.
administration being very friendly to big business, right? So on those
Right.
4 points, kahit sabihin natin walang unity with the Dilaws,
Hindi naman anti-business yung previous administration.
they were.
They
Remember,
were anti-big certain businesses.
well, yeah, Bok, that's what I meant. Like there was a lot of rhetoric against the oligarchs, the so-called oligarchs.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
the oligarchs were identified as a certain group of big businessmen.
ABS-CBN.
Yeah, but
He had
let's
his
face
own
it.
oligarchs.
There you go.
Right.
Huh?
Yeah, he
No,
had his own
But we have
oligarchs.
to remember, it
He
was
has
not
his own
just
set of
the
oligarchs,
Lopezes.
diba?
It was
Yeah.
every big businessman. They were for I think for the first time they felt out of the loop in the administration, the previous administration. Unlike now, we're seeing a very active private sector advisory council, for example.
Right.
Some of these big businessmen
Right.
count as close friends of the president, whereas the previous president was all the way far back in Davao, he was an outsider. Walang network yan dito sa Metro Manila. No network, no connection, no degree of separation from all these big businessmen. I'm not going to use the word oligarch, no? Pero ganon.
Yes.
So,
So I agree, no? I agree, Patrick, that yes, this president has a much closer feel, no, to what our country's business leaders have in mind, no, and are pursuing, no. So I think, no, in order to pursue true unity, we must have true reconciliation, not only among our political factions, but also within the different sectors of our society, from the business people to our workers, to our farmers, etc. So we should really come out with our own another vision. Or it can be Bagong Pilipinas, but it should be based on a real developmental vision, no, that will benefit everyone, no. And it should be based on reconciliation, no. And of course, this is a difficult topic to talk about, but the reason why we are here was because we never went through that process of transitional justice, no. Yung katulad sa ibang bansa na dumaan sa mga ganitong klaseng hidwaan in the past, no, whether civil war or authoritarianism, no, hindi nagkaroon ng reckoning. So, like for example in South Africa. So, it's impossible to demand that at this point. But at least come out with a process by which all sectors, all different political factions, and this should have been done at the early part of his administration, really to come out and try to have a national reconciliation policy.
Okay.
On another topic, Prof, yung very controversial Chacha nitong nakaraang
Yan.
2 taon, no?
Yes.
Dahil
Yes.
yan ba ay tingin mo magkakaroon ba ng panibagong push si PBBM at yung kanyang allies dito sa kanyang SONA and beyond? Dahil yung sinasabi mo kaninang problema ng ating gobyerno ay kakulangan sa mga social at saka economic reforms framework na very
Right.
strategic, very long term.
Right.
At yun
Yeah.
yung ina-address nitong
Right.
usapin sa Chacha na malamang itong political component ng Chacha, bagamat ang kanilang propaganda economic, ay i-lift yung term extension. Dahil yung binabanggit mo na mga reforms
Right.
ay parang hindi kaya within one term, no? Yan ba ay lalamanin ng bagong Pilipinas? Dahil kung yung bagong Pilipinas ay ideological, then wala sila magagawa in the next 3 years. At
Right.
ididikit nila yan sa possible charter change. Pero alam naman natin na very divisive ang usapin ng Chacha. Yan ba at
Right.
tingin mo in the next 3 years ay tutulak ng gobyerno at ni President Bongbong?
Okay. So again, no, that's the paradox of Chacha in our recent political history, no. Several presidents have attempted to push, no. Some are even strong presidents like Duterte, no, trying to push it despite the fact that malakas siya, no, hindi pa rin pumasaya, no. At ito ay kadahilanan na meron tinatawag na constitutional trauma, no. For one reason or the other, no, yung publiko, no, they resist all attempts, no, at Chacha, no. Despite the fact na kahit kontrolado ng mga politiko, no, ng mga kongresista ang pagpamumudmud ng ayuda, meron pa ring strong resistance every time na sinasurvey sila kung approve sila sa pagtutulak ng Chacha, no. So ang problema kasi nga it's constitutional reforms from above, Chacha from above, no. At hindi pala ito totoong Chacha na kumbaga charter change na dapat from below nagsisimula, no. At suportado ng mga tao. So at ang bottom line natin dito, walang tiwala ang tao sa mga nagtutulak ng Chacha. So, while given na maraming kailangan repasuhin sa ating konstitusyon, maraming kailangan baguhin, no? May mga political reforms na kailangan tayong ilagay dyan. Yung anti-dynasty, no? Yung political party strengthening, yung pag-ayos sa ating eleksyon, etc. Hindi mabuksan-buksan dahil nga palaging may resistance. And it's a question of legitimacy, no? Walang tiwala ang tao sa mga nagtutulak ng Chacha. So,
Professor, deadball na yan Chacha mo dyan lang sa anti-political dynasty. Wala na mangyayari dyan.
correct. So, yun nga, no? Yun nga ang problema, no? Wala talaga mangyayari, no? Pero, this doesn't mean na hindi nila...
Professor, I talked to, just for your information, I talked with Chis Escudero recently. I
Yes.
asked him about charter change kasi wala nga nangyari, di ba?
Right.
Throughout, sabi, ihahabol daw for the SONA, wala nangyari. I asked him about it recently. Sabi niya, it's down.
Oo.
Dead. But anyway, ang tanong ko sa inyo, Professor, yung bilang bagong Pilipinas, you've been mentioning it several times. Do you actually understand kung ano ibig sabihin nun? Kasi ako hanggang ngayon, I've been trying to find out. Ano ba, what does it stand for? Even the song, I'm not familiar with the song. Ano ba, what does it stand for?
Again, no, yung bagong Pilipinas is simply borrowing from the playbook of his father.
Bagong
It
lipunan.
was
Bagong lipunan.
really the slogan of bagong lipunan. Di ba? Oo. So it's just
Bigong Pilipinas.
borrowing from the playbook of his father. Kailangan mo ng parang national slogan, no, which eventually might evolve into a national ideology, no. So remember nung kabataan natin, no, bagong lipunan became the Filipino ideology, so-called, no. So ganun yung agenda nila,
This
no.
is,
So
Professor-
while balik tayo doon sa Chacha at doon sa sabi ni Ronald kung itutulak at hindi, siguradong itutulak yan. Pero based on previous attempts, no, patay ang any attempt to push for Chacha pag inabot ka na ng midterms, di ba? Kasi
Yes.
naghahandaan na yung mga politiko kung kanino sila tatalon next, di ba? So karamihan dyan, sumaside bet na sa mga Tulfo brothers. So malabo nang maitulak yan, no? And despite the fact na nagpapamudmud pa rin ng mga ayuda, no? Hindi pa rin tumataas ang rating ng speaker, no? So malabo na yan. Malabo na yan. So ang only na lang dito, solution nila, katulad din ng ginawa ng Liberal Party nung panahon ni Noynoy. Iaasa sana nila na dun sa next administration ay yellow pa rin. Hindi, akala nila kasi mananalo na si Mar, no? Kaso hindi, no? So ang only solution talaga nila is to come out
Ronald,
Paliwanag ka, Ronald, tama ba?
with a strong candidate for 2028 that will continue bagong Pilipinas for them. Di ba?
Tama ba yun, Ronald?
comment, Ronald.
The whole idea na no charter change, because in fairness, they never pushed for charter change during the time of Pinoy, pero the idea was a combination of 6-6. Parang,
Lahat
ang
naman,
rinig ko ngayon, parang 18 years na ata.
hindi, narinig ko rin yun.
Yung 18 years, hindi
Narinig ko
lang
rin
2
yun.
terms, 3 terms yun.
Narinig ko rin yun.
Narinig
no?
mo rin yan. Sa'yo ka ata narinig yan. So, yeah, so ganon.
Hindi, lahat naman ng gobyerno may self-delusion ng continuity until hindi siya mangyari, no? Kaya even yung Duterte may ganung delusion, even GMA na napaka-unpopular may ganung delusion.
Si Marcos din.
No? So lahat naman may ganung delusion Kaya pero yung contours para yun ay magkaroon ng wherewithal ay kulang. No? Yun yung halimbawa, yung sinasabi ni Professor na itong bagong Pilipinas, laging binabanggit kasi ni Bongbong na ito ay ideological. Siguro yung pinanggalingan niya ideological, yung mga bagong lipunan, Filipino ideology. Pero sabi nga ni Ami, kahit itong bagong Pilipinas, wala naman tayong makita na anything ideological.
Ako, I
Diba?
cannot understand.
Maliban dun sa slogan. No? Kaya tingin ko magkakaproblema yan as a political narrative.
And there lies the challenge nga for this administration dahil nga fuzzy yung narrative nila, hindi malinaw kung ano yung bagong Pilipinas, no? And so that's the challenge for this administration.
Do we actually want a more concrete ideology or narrative from this administration on things like that, from any administration? Kasi what the danger there, Prof, is that baka talaga mag-isip ng beyond 6 years pag ganyan. Kasi alam mo naman, bagong lipunan, that the project was like that lasted short of 20 years or
21
something like
years.
that.
Okay.
So there.
Ako naman, I'm hopeful that BBM himself will remain within the 6-year term limit, no. Ang sa akin lang kasi ang tingin ko sa kanya talaga, what he's doing is what I call the politics of redemption, no. Gusto lang talaga niyang i-redeem yung pangalan ng ama niya at ang Marcos brand. And
Bahala na kayo.
kaya inahanda na rin niya yung susunod sa mga susunod sa kanya.
Bahala na kayo
So
sa
maybe-
iba.
O yan na lang, how
Maybe,
is he
Professor,
doing?
that's their narrative.
Yan, sa ganyan, Professor, how is he doing
Yes.
dyan sa rehabilitation ng Marcos image? Kasi so
Well,
far, meron na tayong Kadiwa, Maharlika, ano pa yun, kung ano-ano lahat na
Yung 25 pesos sa bigas, yung 29.
Ano, what do you think?
Well, beyond that, beyond the politics din of nostalgia, yung trying to bring back memories of the bagong lipunan era. I think meron namang traction din kasi nga yung kanyang mga policies na hindi inasahan sa kanya, no? Na even some of the staunch anti-Marcos oppositionists agree, no? So may common ground may nabubuong common ground, and that is an opportunity moving forward for the country, no? Kung nagkaroon ng ganung klaseng common ground that can be further developed into a developing consensus for a real unity and reconciliation based on justice pa rin, syempre. So kailangan talaga may ganung proseso.
Medyo mayroong kulang sa atin, Professor. Yung mga bansa na nag-develop in their political system at saka economic system, usually meron niyang social pact between
Precisely.
modernizing section of the elites and a strong civil society and a fulcrum in between. Parang yung mga components
Parang Ronald, parang hindi...
parang yung mga components na yun, wala rito eh.
Parang Ronald, dahil makasingit lang, kasi if you study the region, they've all democratized, but there was a time, it's not so much a strong civil society, it's a strong man.
Well,
Everywhere in the region, there's a strong man. I think dito lang, Prof, hindi umubra.
Well, sa Korea kasi, sa Japan, no?
Strong man.
Hindi lang strong man, may strong civil society na yung, alam sa Japan, yung kanilang modernizing elite at saka yung kanilang trade unions, nagdesisyon na ito yung direksyon ng bansa. Ganon din sa Korea. Strong trade unions at saka yung kanilang mga chaebols.
The Japanese
yung chaebols.
Liberal Party ruled for decades and decades.
Yes, ang problema natin,
Practical one-party
natin, wala tayong modernizing elite. Yun yung problema. No? Yung ating elites is more carpetbaggers eh. Quick money, rent-seeking, no? Yun yung nagiging...
Yan yung
Walang napaparusahan.
Yan yung palaging
Walang
sinasabi.
napaparusahan.
Walang napaparusahan. Yan yung palaging
Professor,
sinasabi.
you're talking about transitional justice. You think it's possible under this administration? yung hinahabol natin hidden wealth, nag-birthday party sa Malacanang. How can you talk about transitional justice?
Sabi ko nga, tapos na yun. That ship has sailed, di ba? Pero...
And that she is convicted, she's out on bail. How can that be?
Oo nga, yeah.
Iniisip mo yan di ba? Sa mga tao nakikita yan Bakit ganon? Merong ninakaw na kayamanan. Walang na-convict na nagnakaw ng kayamanan. Bakit ganon? I mean, you're talking about transitional
ngayon, wala pa rin daw ninakaw.
I-reconcile niyan.
Okay.
Professor?
Ganito yan i-reconcile. Kasi nga, alam natin yun. Kaso, binoto siya ng 31 million. So, sabi nga ni Manolo Quezon, election is absolution, di ba? So, yun ang problema, di ba? So, we are where we are right now. So, how do we move forward? Then, the transitional justice, tapos na yun. That should have happened a long time ago. But, that doesn't stop this administration and the opposition to move forward, right? Hindi yung forgive and forget, no? Kailangan pag-usapan pa rin. At kung may common ground, this common ground can be used, no, to process it into, kumbaga, something that nabanggit ang Korea. Remember, yung daughter ni Park Chung-hee, no? Naghumingi ng patawad bago siya nahalal na presidente. Nanalo siya, si Park Geun-hye. Kaso na
And then she
people
went
power
to
din siya.
jail.
Oo, na people power din siya. Yun ang wala sa atin, no? Kasi halos lahat na naging presidente ng South Korea in recent years, lahat nakulong.
Nakulong. Oo. Yeah.
Pero hindi naman natin sinasabi na dapat itong administrasyon na ito doon patungo. Let's not make it into a self-fulfilling prophecy. Kasi nga, perhaps ang political motivation niya is redemption, no? Kaya kasi pag tinulak natin at tinulak towards that direction, baka nga maging ganon, no? Pero habang ngayon na medyo nagli-lean siya towards more kumbaga for lack of better term, liberal politics, no? Let's encourage him, 'di ba?
Okay. So, si Erap naman nakulong, tapos si Steven
Hindi
nakulong
na
for a
ako
while.
makasar.
Sino susunod?
Tapos si Digong baka makulong.
Ikaw nagsabi, hindi ako
On a different note, Professor, mukhang yung mga kaibigan mo sa Maysug, may planong malaking rally bukas.
Yes.
Going into the SONA. Magsisimula sila sa EDSA Shrine na symbol ng mga dilaw bukas ng 2:00. Tapos mamarcha sila sa Liwasang Bonifacio na simbolo ng mga kaliwa. Tapos kung lalaki sila, balak nilang magmarcha papuntang Malacanang.
Na simbolo ng
Yun
ng continuity.
ng continuity. Ng unity.
Kasi
Unity.
kung yung isa politics of redemption, sa kanila kasi politics of survival. Malapit na rin sila, di ba? So yun naman ang kanila, no. So talagang ganyan, no. At kumbaga, sabi nga ni Napoleon Bonaparte, no, di ba? Ano ba yung sabi ni Napoleon
Don't disturb your
Bonaparte?
enemies when they're
Do not
making a
disturb
mistake.
your enemies when they're making a mistake. Di ba?
Okay, with that, maraming salamat. Political analyst, Professor Julio Tehanqui. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Professor.
Thank you.
Pero mahalaga yun yung rally nila bukas dahil build up nila yan papuntang SONA.
Ano talagang EDSA
Talagang
right?
EDSA
EDSA
na,
Liwasa.
Alas 2.
At saka Liwasang
Tapos
Bonifacio.
Liwasang Bonifacio. Mamacha, mahaba yun Mahaba yun. Hindi ko alam kung kaya ni Harry Roque i-marcha yun.
Bakit yun ang napili nilang mga venue?
Ewan ko. Iconic Iconic.
Kaya, iconic sa kalaban nila eh.
Hindi. Tanong mo sa kanila. Ba't saan mo tinatanong?
Huwag lang kayo magdadala ng drone. Walang drone.
Walang drone.
Huwag kayo magdadala ng drone.
Hindi, pero sa EDSA Shrine tsaka sa Liwasan, pwede drone.
Hindi natin alam kung malapit siya sa Krame.
Pero may gun ban pa rin.
Oh.
May gun ban pa rin.
Siyempre,
Diba?
siyempre.
3-day gun
May
ban.
gun ban.
Siyempre.
May gun ban, yes.
Pero mukhang may balak tomorrow. No? Kaya
Ano may balak?
may balak ng malaking rally
Okay.
sa Malacanang.
And also, over this weekend, let's not forget, well, if you read through the reports coming out from the United States, baka mag-step down si President.
Yes, may ganun distinct possibility dahil marami na nga yung
Naka-standby kami.
nagtutulak. Kaya that will affect the world.
Mag-step down from his candidacy.
Yes.
Ang
Not as
candidacy.
president.
Step aside.
Not as president.
The right term is to step aside. Give way.
Sige. Wait, quick lang
Okay.
May global IT outages right now hitting airlines and businesses worldwide.
Oo.
Pati Microsoft, tinamaan.
Pati dito. Oo.
Pati dito.
Sa Pilipinas.
Yeah.
Bakit tayo?
Kasama daw tayo. We have a report from
Minomonitor.
Regina Hing, our business editor, and she's saying that some
Mga
sites
bangka
are
ba?
down. That's a big story. Ano kaya ito?
Bakit tayo maanda pa rin? Siguro
Yes.
unload tayo.
Ganun nga actually. Ganun.
Okay. So there's an advisory from Cebu
Oh, ayan,
Pacific that their system is down
Ayan, nagaganon, no?
due to Microsoft outage. Anyway, abangan na lang yung mga developments
Naka-zoom
po dyan.
tayo Chinese to, no? Magaling ang technology nila.
Yung pala yan. Okay, sige.
Mabuhay.
Okay, happy weekend. Kasi mag-hatin
Happy
si
weekend.
si Ronald ng rally bukas.
Pupunta pa ako sa Mysore Rally.
Thanks for joining the story
Kakanta pa
today.
siya mamayang gabi.
Yan. Okay, thanks for joining the story today. Ami Pamintuan, Editor-in-Chief of the Philippine Star, and Ronald Llamas, our resident political pundit.
No, join us again on Monday at 4 p.m. for the StoryCon. I'm Ed Lingao.
I'm Patrick Paez. We are One News, all sides, all the time. This is the Story Conference Group or the StoryCon Group.